Good evening. I am in Hakodate, Japan, way up north on Hokkaido. It's snowing tonight, a very light snow. I have just left my hotel here at Hotel Resol, and I had a whole thing planned for tonight. Today I'm in the northern Japanese city of Hakodate, people. I'll be walking around the streets to explore the town, first at night and then during the day. After dinner, I'll leave my hotel and wander around to see who is out and about in the frigid air, talk about the colorful history of Hakodate, and learn how to negotiate the icy sidewalks. I'm not a snow and ice guy. And then in the daylight, I'll explore the city's streetcar system and admire the colorful and vibrant buildings as I hunt for a legendary healing footbath in a city said to have one of the 3 most beautiful views in the world. There's one thing to do when you come to Hakodate, one famous thing that everybody needs to do, and that is to go up and see the view of the city from Mount Hakodate. You go up by cable car and you look at the top, you look down on the city, which the people that live here and other people say that's one of the top 3 beautiful city views in the world, along with Naples and Hong Kong. Hakodate is supposed to be amazingly beautiful. I've already seen the famous picture of it from that angle a few times since I arrived a couple hours ago here in town. It's on posters and the train stations and everything. It's a famous view, and in my hotel. Anyway, the cable car tonight is canceled because of high winds. It's not windy here in the city, but unfortunately, apparently it's too windy for the cable car, so I can't go up and see the view tonight. But I think we need to look at this in the optimist's way. So we can't see the big sweeping view of Hakodate all at once, but we can be down here on the streets, getting an actual close-up look of the streets as it snows here at about 8 p.m. And we can see the buildings and the roads and the snow and the lights and the people up close, even better. So my alternate plan here is just to sort of wander around and get to know the town kind of randomly, because it's a great way to see a town too. And while we're wandering, I'll tell you a few things I've learned about Hakodate, some facts I know, if I can remember them. For one thing, there is the tram. You see the tram going. There are 2 cities in Hokkaido with tram systems, Hakodate and Sapporo, the capital. Hakodate is the 3rd biggest city in Hokkaido after Sapporo and Asahikawa. It used to be the biggest until a bad thing happened. But what happened was, well, to go back more in history, long ago there was Mount Hakodate, which formed off the island, a little bit out in the water. And it was there for a while, and slowly over time, sand gathered between the Mount Hakodate and the mainland of Hokkaido. And that sand, which was a sandy isthmus, that isthmus was done being formed by about 3,000 years ago. And that sandy isthmus is now where I am now. It's the city of Hakodate. Originally there were Ainu people living here, as most of Hokkaido. Ainu are the indigenous people of Hokkaido. And in 1454, the first Japanese person came here to actually establish a sort of settlement. He built a manor, M-A-N-O-R. In 1854, Matthew Perry, the guy who President Monroe sent over from the United States to open up Japan, he came up here. While he was here, one of his men died and was buried here. He was the first American citizen to be buried in Japan. By the way, I'm not quite sure where I'm walking. I'm walking towards the mountain anyway, even though I can't go up it. I do recognize that there's not much happening out here on this street, but I gotta tell you, it is freezing cold, literally freezing cold. It's about 0 degrees. And my hand is very cold because I'm holding this camera. And the air feels very crisp and really nice. So anyway, to continue our story, the next year in 1855, after Perry came and the guy died and all that, Hakodate became the first port in Japan to actually open for foreign trade. This was the first place that actually saw trade, first port that saw trade. And it was very successful. Hakodate became a very, very big city. It was Hokkaido's biggest city for a long time, until 1934. 1934, a fire broke out. And of course, everything was made of wood, because that's how Japan was back in those days. And a huge part of the city burned down. And it was no longer the biggest city, because a lot of people just left. They're like, yeah, forget this place. So they took off. Now, Hakodate is number 3. Roughly number 3. It's about 230 something thousand people live here now, which is respectable, certainly. But it's lost almost a quarter of its population in the last 40 years, just because people get old and they move out to the bigger cities down south, and no one's moving in here. People aren't having kids that much. So we'll probably continue to drop. It was also bombed in World War II by the Allies, as a lot of places were. Let's cross the road here. Gotta be careful, because the roads can be a little slippery here. And I'm not a snow and ice guy. I like it, but I'm from the southern United States, and I live in Osaka, where we don't get this sort of stuff. You know, I think I may have led you astray here. Perhaps I should turn around and find a different road. All right, that's what we'll do. Next time we see a place where we can cross the road here, back to the right, which would be the west. We're walking south now. We'll cross over, we'll go 1 block over, and then we'll walk back north towards the station. I'm going to have to put a glove on while I'm using this camera. All right. The light's red, no one's around. There's no cross right here. Should I jaywalk on my first night here in Hokkaido? If I end up in jail, it's your fault. There's a poster in the train station of like a collage of like Hakodate stuff. And it was the view from the mountain, and it was a park or something like that. One thing was a woman crouching down just like this, taking a picture of one of these fire hydrants. And I didn't understand it at first. I was like, what? Why is she taking a picture of this yellow fire hydrant? And then I realized this is not really a Japanese thing. This is how they look in America. So I think to, I guess, some Japanese tourists, this just seems really interesting and foreign, or, you know, something like that. Maybe they are normal here. Maybe it's actually being used for that here. But there you go. If you miss America, a little taste of home. And I do kind of miss America, so thanks. I think it would behoove me to put on my gloves. Where are my gloves? This is actually the first day of a longer trip here to Hokkaido. Going all over Hokkaido, and I'm not quite sure what to expect with the weather. So I brought a lot of layers of stuff. I'm not wearing the stuff now, but I'm wearing a hat now, but I've actually got 2 hats that I can wear if it gets colder. I've got 2 pairs of long underwear instead of 1, and 3 or 4 like real warm Uniqlo inner shirts, and I got 2 pairs of gloves, one that's like a real skin tight and one that's these. So I think I'm prepared. Got a scarf. I'm not wearing any of that stuff tonight. So it's kind of a test. But this is the southern point of the trip, so this is as warm as it's going to get, probably. I see a wooden fence over here. What's this? Oh, wow, cool. Look at this park. Oh, I'm glad I walked down south after all. snowball. It's been a while since I threw a good snowball. Okay, anyway, what was this thing? Why, it's a Shinto shrine. Normally, when you come to a Shinto shrine, you can ring the bell, get your prayers heard, and I could do that, but kind of seems a shame to break up the peaceful quiet here. Don't know if you can see that up there. On that mountain there are some, you see like red and yellow lights and stuff. That is where I would have gone, way up there by ropeway, to see this view. But I don't know. I'm not complaining about this view. This is nice. From down here, I mean. One thing about Japan is that different places in Japan, different regions have a different side of the road they tend to walk on, a different side of the sidewalk. And in Osaka, we walk on the left. Sidewalks and escalators and stairs and everything. But when people from other parts of Japan visit Osaka, they often tend to walk on the right. I think in maybe Tokyo, people walk on the right. Here, I don't know, and I have a feeling I keep getting in everybody's way. So it might be the right here. But then a lot of people are walking on the left, so I haven't figured that part out yet. So either I'm annoying everybody or people need to get out of my way. Perhaps I'll solve that by the end of this Hokkaido trip. A lot of really nice stuff here, like nice, looks like a lot of cool like bars and restaurants and stuff, but nobody's out. Check it out, man. Hakodate beer. Nice looking building. Whoa. Ooh, almost lost my footing here. Have to step carefully even when you don't think you need to. You never know where the slippery slush is going to be. Well, this has to be one of the stranger first looks at a city I've ever had. Very, very cold. Some wooden animals. Very, very cold, and not many people around, and just drifts of snow everywhere. And the sort of psychological feeling that you're way, way far north. It's not actually that far north, like latitude-wise. I think it's about the same as maybe Oregon or something here. It's just that it's a different situation with the wind and the weather. I mean, it's 0 degrees now, Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit. That's not really that bad for here. It gets a lot colder. And some of the cities I'm going to in the next few days are some of the coldest in all of Japan and have some of the highest snowfalls of any city in the world. I wonder what this little shed is. Am I allowed to open this? I can't get it open, probably better not. We'll never know what the shed is for. But we can guess. Write your best fiction about the cold shed in Hakodate Park and leave it in the comments. That song, I don't know that song, but I can hear enough of the words to know that it's a jingle for this restaurant. Talking about Genghis Khan, which is named after Genghis Khan, or Genghis Khan as we say in English. And it's like Mongolian style beef or something, cooked on a little circular grill thing. Choose your own seafood. Okay, we're here back at the station. There seems to be more going on. Plus some downright bizarre sculptures and stuff. Cool. Assuming this music they're playing is not something copyrighted that I can't use this footage on YouTube for, I will say goodnight here. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do something to right a wrong from a previous video, and I can do it here in Hakodate. I hope it's open. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night and I'm going to get some sleep in my hotel, which seems pretty warm and comfortable and quiet, and I will see you tomorrow morning for more of Hakodate. All right, good morning. It is the next morning. I have just gone to Hakodate Station to buy tickets for today because I'm leaving for Otaru today. Now, the things I'm going to do today, if you saw a video recently where I was on a train called the Kyoto Tango Railway in Kyoto, there was one station that had, or one platform, train platform, that had a footbath on it. And I was unable to get off the train to actually use the footbath. The one regret I have about not getting off the train today. But here in this town, way down here somewhere, there is a public footbath on a street corner. I saw it online. I don't know if it's open right now in winter. I don't know anything about it. But I'm going to take a tram to get there. So this is supposed to right the wrong of that footbath, and I think it's a really cool thing to do here today, because even if the thing is not open or it's no longer there or something like that, at least I will have ridden the tram. I've also got this scarf on. I've got an extra layer. I've got a wool sweater now underneath all this with all the other shirts. I've got little heat pads in my shoes, and it's actually working. I do feel quite warm out here. It's about -1, -2 degrees Celsius. A little below freezing, but I feel good except for my hands, and I'll find gloves for that. It's about about a half hour ride through town on the tram to get to this place that has supposedly a footbath. I wonder if I'm overdressed, and then I see that some people are way underdressed. People. So we are here. We want to go all the way up here to Yunokawa Onsen. And while waiting, I was asking the hotel guy this morning if I could take a picture of the night view of Hakodate. It was on the wall in a framed picture behind him in the front desk. And he said, yeah, so I did, but then he went in the back and he pulled this out. He gave me this, my own color postcard view of it. You know you've ridden the tram car far out of town when you're the only person left on the train. Right, arigatou gozaimasu. Right, I see the hot bath and I see somebody actually starting to use it, taking their shoes off and putting their feet in. So that means it's working. It was all worth it. We got a little story here too. Almost 400 years history. In 1653, a mother who had a son of the Lord, the son was dying of a serious illness, had a strange dream. In her dream, God appeared and told her to take her son to the hot spring, and there he would be cured. So she took her son to the hot spring. God taught her, the hot spring God taught her, and let him bathe there. Soon he was able to resolve completely. This is the story, said to be the discovery and the beginning of Yunokawa Hot Spring. It is well known as a beneficial and good saline hot spring. So what's the point of the foot bath? Well, the effect of the foot bath is said to be effective as well as usual bathing. By putting your foot in the hot water, you can stay longer in the hot spring than putting your total body. And so blood is warmed enough and circulates around the body. Foot bath is very effective, especially to the people who feel swelling or suffer from excessive sensitivity to cold. Please enjoy our Japanese culture foot bath and have a relaxed time watching Yunokawa's townscape and feeling Hakodate breeze. Sounds good to me. Let's see how this works. Ooh. Quite hot. Oh, that's great. Ooh, between the toes. Oh. All right, we couldn't get this on the railway a couple weeks ago, but finally. And we have the beautiful Hakodate cityscape, as the sign said. Man, that was so good. That was so nice. That was almost worth coming to Hokkaido just for that. That's the most relaxing and warm and friendly and peaceful and wondrous thing that's happened to me all day. Well, I think the tram is here. The trams come every 5 minutes or so, so they're very frequent. So what I'm going to do is going to walk. I have to go get my train. There are not many trains in Hokkaido for a lot of routes, so I don't have much option. So my train's 10:45 this morning, and I have to be back at the station, and I'm way outside of town now. So, but the trams are frequent. So I'm going to walk a couple blocks just to get a look at Hakodate in the daytime, and then I'm going to have to call the video there because the next thing is a coming. So anyway, foot bath, 800 million thumbs up. One thing that's very evident here that really strikes me as somebody who lives in Osaka is, I've said this in other videos, but there's just no color in Osaka. There are lights and flashing things in the shopping areas, but I mean, like, people's houses and most buildings are just gray, drab, boxy concrete. And here there's lots of wooden buildings and even like bright colors. I saw a big bright orange building earlier. I wish we could have that down in Osaka, but we just don't. The buildings here are often a little bit worn, but they have a different kind of feel to them. This is not like the Japan I'm used to in Honshu. What am I supposed to do? This guy is waving me somewhere. escorted even. Arigato. And the other thing that struck me about the tram ride is that for a fairly small city, 230,000 people, it's quite big. Many, many kilometers away from the station, and it's still kind of a hopping little town out here. So spread out, I guess. I guess in Osaka and other big cities down in Honshu, everybody lives up in the sky. There's like these big, big tower blocks, apartment blocks and stuff. And here you just live on the first floor of wherever. Okay, well, I'm the only one waiting here at the tram stop, and I'm going to end this video here. The next video will be my ride on a train through the mountains, through a very steep and windy mountain train route that is actually destined to be discontinued in 6 years from now. This is going to be probably my last chance to take it. Nobody really takes it that often. It's a very strange little local line. That all starts from Hakodate Station, so that'll be the next video. Today's big train ride through probably some very snowy and curly and curvy, crazy mountains. I'm excited. I will stop talking now. Excuse you. So anyway, thanks for watching this look at Hakodate, and I will see you hopefully in the next video on the train ride. Many thanks to my Patreon supporters who help make these videos possible and who, for as little as $1 a month, can watch new videos at least a week before they're published. Special thanks to David Richley, Jacob Fatz, Lever Wong, Nathaniel Holland, Omeyer, Ray Nichols, Samantha, and Will Phillips. And thanks to subscribers to my free weekly email newsletter, which features links to new videos a day before they're published, as well as behind-the-scenes info from my travels. Links to both are in the video description. And thanks for wandering around with me.